All right, we are back again for another interview, and tonight, none other than the one and only ODB. How you doing?
That's right, one and only.
Oh man, I haven't talked to you since COVID Con. I guess over 2 years ago now.
2 years, yeah. That's been
I
a long
know.
damn.
Feels like yesterday.
Right? It kind of does.
How have you been since then?
Been good. Been growing. My food truck business has been getting bigger every day, and if I look tired, that's because I am tired.
Fair enough.
But
I gotta
yeah.
admit, I love the name. You know,
Oh, the meet and greet.
yes, that
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Yes. And that actually happened when I was drunk. I was just sitting, I was just thinking of food truck names, and then meet came out and greet, and I was like, well, my life has been really one hell of a meet and greet. So I was like, well, shit, that sounds good.
Just too perfect. Oh,
Hmm.
Greg's here, and Greg says, "Hey, Rob and Jesse, happy Thanksgiving."
Oh,
That's he's Canadian like
Canada
myself.
Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yes. Got a
We
lot of
get it
Canadian
early and out of the
friends.
way.
Yeah, I was like, shit, I miss Thanksgiving.
So now, one of the big reasons we're here today is because you have a new book. Is it out or coming out?
It is out, so it is right here with me. Jesse Creasa is ODB, One Dirty Biatch.
There it is.
There it is.
Yes.
And this is actually I started writing this during COVID, or I call it the shit show, but
That is so fitting.
because I always wanted to, kind of. I don't have a sad story. I basically have a story where you just keep on going and stay true to yourself, and just don't let anything knock your ass down. Or if you get knocked down, get your ass back up. No excuses, right?
No, that's perfect.
And then
Well,
I reached out to Mick Foley, who obviously is number one writer of his books, and
he may have written a book or two. Yeah.
yeah, I'd say they're pretty good. So it's like, why not reach out to a friend that is good at what he does? And he gave me a Kenny Casanova, one of his publishers. So I hooked up with him, and it took about a year and a half or so, I think, to fully like publish it all and get it all out there. And it was fun. It was fun, like recreating the stories, and I kind of forgot about some of the stuff I did.
That's the one thing I was going to ask. Did things pop in your head that you had kind of traumatically blocked out at some point or something?
Yeah, just like different, like especially in wrestling. Like I don't remember every match I had. And then Kenny would say stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I've been in the ring with them. Or even like road stories too.
Oh, those are the best.
Yes, and I
Uh,
got quite a few of those.
Mike said, "Hey guys, I have ODB's book signed. It's great. ODB and
Oh,
Kenny Casanova is great."
oh,
Thanks.
thanks, Mike. Yeah,
There we go. Something to put on the book. The second printing.
that's right.
What inspired you to do a book?
I don't. I've always it's like through my journey, because I've always had a different kind of journey, especially just doing it on my own. Just like growing up in I grew up good. I grew up in a hardworking family, and that's very rare, these days. And then just did college, and then did the wrestling thing. And I thought people need to, because I start sharing more, especially on social media the last few years. I really start become more of an open book, and I'm like, well, shit, if I'm doing this on social media, I should just put it all in a book.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
And there's a lot of stories. Like I was just going through a little bit of the history. And it's interesting because you became a champion just by talking about it.
Right.
I love that fact in there.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Thank you.
In Ohio Valley, and then Danny went, "Okay, you're the champ."
Right. That was a one thing too, because Al Snow is obviously a big mentor of mine, and he actually helped me, probably the biggest of everyone that helped me out, and he believed in me, but WWE didn't see anything in me, and I mean that's fine. I'm kind of glad I didn't go that route, but you never know what can happen in the future.
Yeah.
um, right? You definitely can, especially in the wrestling business. You
Oh,
never
yeah.
know. You never know. But yeah, and then OVW was like everyone else was getting paid. I wasn't. So, I had to go bartend on the side, or, serve some tables. And waitress and stuff like that. But I had a blast. Like, and then I got to really develop the ODB character.
Because you were kind of getting prickly all along because of that. So, oh, nice. But I love the fact that Danny Davis at that point then said, "You know what? You keep saying it. Now you're champ."
Yeah.
And that's how a belt was born. That's
Right.
I don't know anybody else that can talk about a story like that.
Right. Yeah. No one else can. That's right.
So this is the kind of stuff that you've got in your book.
Yes. Yes, I got some. I mean, because it started out, grew up in Minnesota, did the wrestling thing. Well, I do talk about before wrestling, like, well, I'll let you guys, you got to pick up my book, though. I don't want to tell you all about all the stories in my book, but yeah, it's just, especially the wrestling journey. I really want people to know, because it's so different from nowadays, how there's a lot of work out there now for wrestlers. Like back then, there was only WWE and TNA.
Yep.
And it was either, you're either going to that place or that place. And then the indies were a lot bigger back then, I think. You get, a hot dog and a handshake, basically. Gas money if you're lucky.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and then the traveling, it's just, you don't see the traveling much anymore.
No.
It's like people now are just getting flown in. Back then, I'm with me, Tracy Brooks, Angelina Love. We'd be driving from like Nashville. I think we drove to Pennsylvania. It was like 14 hours for one show. Yeah. And just girls driving, sleeping in truck stops. Yeah, that was pretty smart of us. I look back and I literally cringe of this crap we did. And yeah.
You're right, though. That's what's lost in today's stories.
Yeah.
We talked about Wicks Book. It was huge because of those there was him, Steve Austin, and they're all traveling together.
Yeah.
People love those stories. I think sometimes more than the actual wrestling.
Right. I know. And like, I think if, like I say kids, like, the wrestlers nowadays, if they wrote a book, it would, I don't know if I'd read it.
Yeah. And then we flew to Tampa and then we flew to Dallas.
Yeah. Then I went to NXT, got a good check and, went up, got fired and went to this company and kept going. And I mean, it's just, you don't see the paying your dues, I guess.
There is a lot of call of that. And I know one of the things that you started out with, you originally tried out for Tough Enough. There was a lot of flack against people from Tough Enough saying they hadn't earned their dues.
Yeah.
But with Tough Enough, a couple of those guys actually showed their value once they got in the company.
Oh, hell yeah. I think, I mean, look, John Morrison, I mean, he came from Tough Enough.
Yep.
And he's paid his dues. He definitely is still going too. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, I'm so glad I didn't make Tough Enough. Oh, Lordy. I mean, it's a good story that I tried out. I got to meet, Mick and Al Snow there, but looking back, I'm like, yeah, probably would have had a different journey if I would have made that show.
Well, and see, this is the thing. I can't wait to get this book, because just going through what I could find, it's interesting how many like points you were at in your life where if it had gone the other way, it would be so different.
Oh, right.
Like you said, Tough Enough, like being an OVW, that could have gone,
Right. And you don't realize it at the time. And like, even too, I like to tell people in my book, like, enjoy the journey, enjoy the struggles, trust me, I've made a lot of mistakes, especially in my food truck business. I mean, my first 2 years was a shit show, but now I got it, I got it good. Took a few years, but enjoy the struggles, like you learn from your mistakes, don't make them again. That's the bottom line.
Well, yeah, definitely. So now let's pretend I'm in Minneapolis. Where do I find your food truck? Because I have friends down there that have begged me to come visit. And if I do, I'm going to go.
We are basically central Minnesota, based out of St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Okay.
So we don't do Minneapolis. I'm not a city fan, as you can see. This is where I'm at.
Oh, I'm with you there.
Well, we do basically like this St. Cloud area, so it's more central, and we do a lot of concerts. Actually, our food truck season is about to come to an end in November, so we're kind of going, getting away from all the festivals. Are kind of not there anymore. So we did like, God, what concerts did we do this year? We did the Goo Goo Dolls. We did Kip Moore concert. We did Kansas. Yeah, we did a Journey, I believe, and yeah, we do basically every weekend. We're at a big show. And then
Nice.
we'll do it. Where breweries are popular up here, so breweries and food trucks team up, and beer and barbecue.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Okay, off wrestling. What made you decide to get into a food truck business?
I
It's not
don't
the most
know.
conventional job, you know.
Well, I started out. Oh gosh, has it been 5? No, probably about 7 years. I started out with my barbecue sauce. Um, and then a company picked me up to kind of help me develop one, and we did it. And then I traveled like the bike rally circuit, like I did Sturgis, Daytona Bike Week, and all this stuff. And then I just promote my barbecue sauce. And one day someone's like, "Well, you should do a food truck," and I had no idea how to. I mean, I like to cook, but I wasn't like a chef or nothing. And then it just kind of happened. And then more of the stories in my book, so I'll let you guys read that part. But it's just something that kind of happened, and I dived right into it without knowing shit.
And this is interesting. The more I ask, the more questions I get. What inspired you to make a barbecue sauce? Again, not something that just, everybody does.
Right? I always loved like grilling. I always loved entertaining in and outside the ring. So when I would
Mhm.
be home from the road, I'd always have like garage parties with the neighbors and stuff. And it was always a good time. Then the whole barbecue sauce thing kind of came at me because I was on a TV show grilling and stuff and cooking up like your Minnesota comfort food stuff.
Okay.
And then that's how I kind of got founded. But from Pepper Palace picked me up, and they're just like, "Let's do this. Let's do a hot and barbecue sauce." And of course, whiskey is the base of it.
Well, that's good. So then with these two jobs, if you had to pick one, which way would you lean?
Which jobs? Wrestling
Yeah.
or food truck?
Yeah.
Food truck.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Yes.
Yeah, I actually had to turn down some wrestling bookings. A big one too. I got asked to, be at Bound for Glory, but unfortunately I couldn't make it. Because I had a full weekend of food trucking, and that's where my heart is right now.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Gotcha. Well, like you said too, it's seasonal. So
mhm.
now you
Hey, you
get
got to do, yeah, because we have a short. It's about a good 7 months you can get in Minnesota, and then basically December, January, February, good, yeah, 3, almost 4 months of no food trucking. But we still do like catering and stuff, and we'll do some holiday parties. But
nice.
yeah,
Oh, who's this? Oh, Rochelle Davis said, "Hello, love."
what's going on, Michelle?
That is that's one of my dearest friends. She lives in Philly.
Philly,
And
all right,
yes. So we're like middle of the country and edge of the country with her and
right,
you.
I know, right, yeah.
Very different locales.
Yes.
Oh, and here's Rocky. Yo, hey Robin,
Hey,
Jess.
what's up, Rocky? What's up, bitch?
Did you ever team up with Rocky at all to do the autograph?
Yes, he's actually done a lot for me. He's he actually just made a couple more belts for me. He made a belt for me for my food truck, and it's done. And we did a signing together. So yeah, I now see him. I think I'll see him at WrestleCade at Winston Salem coming up.
Nice.
Yeah, that's always a big event. That's a fun. It keeps getting bigger and bigger every year.
That's good though. That's a sign of a good show.
Yes,
You
and good
know.
promoter. Yes.
Now, how far to now does your book hit on? Because I know
It
you go.
basically goes. It goes into my food truck. Oh, I hear some donkeys. All right.
Oh my God, yeah, I can hear them.
Oh Lord.
We might be
Um,
switching locations.
like oh shit, here they come. Uh, so yeah, it comes to the food truck right after. I think when does it end? So I had my first food truck. That one burned down. Talks about that. And I think we kind of end it right there, and then it starts of my new food truck. And then I end it right there. So possibly it could be a second book because I have a lot more to share.
No doubt. Yeah, roughly. How big is the book? Like, how many pages?
Believe it's 300.
Oh, dang. It's not a cheesy book. No.
Yeah. But so far, I've been getting good compliments. I actually have a lot of friends that aren't really. Yeah, it's 300. Yep. I actually have a lot of friends that aren't wrestling fans. So it's nice that some of my lady friends, they read it in one night. They said they couldn't put it down. They loved it. They loved the how kind of motivation, inspirational it is, and just not giving up on yourself. And then the stories. They said they laughed, they cried, and I know one chapter does kind of, it could choke you up if you're a sensitive person, especially being a young girl. But yeah, it's just yeah, and they could hear my voice, so that was the main thing. If you read my book, I want you to hear my voice, and I want you to feel it. And everyone says that they can hear me and my laugh.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, one more quick question, and it's probably in the book, but I've always wanted to ask this because it's interesting to see how someone gets their gimmick. Where did you come up with your name?
My brother, actually, it was right before Tough Enough because I was ODB, one dirty bitch, at Tough Enough tryouts. Obviously, I didn't have my full persona yet. I mean, that took years and years to get. But yeah, I always ODB because my brother was like, you need something that the crowd is going to be able to chant.
That's true.
We didn't think of Wu Tang. We didn't think of Old Dirty Bastard. I wasn't a fan back in the day. I was a 20-year-old. I didn't listen to that type of music. I was more Beastie Boys. But yeah, and then it just came. Yeah,
That's
so it was
excellent.
cool to actually have the name and then develop it. Like that was really cool just to see. Because in my first couple years, you're doing the indies. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. Hell, my first 5 years of wrestling, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
But that's
And
where you
yeah,
experiment.
what's that?
That's where you start experimenting.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And then a few people didn't like ODB, so I had like Harley Race. I worked for him a couple of shows in Missouri, and he didn't like ODB, so I had to be Jessica Dalton for Harley Race.
Jessica Dalton. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, Dalton's from Roadhouse, which is one of my favorite movies. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that film myself.
Yes.
They're thinking of
Terry Funk.
remaking it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he was killer in that film.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you look who's there: Patrick Swayze, Sam Elliott, Jessica Lynch.
Sam Elliott's I like him.
That guy ages like great wine. I mean, it doesn't matter
Right?
how old he is, he still looks good. It's Sam
Yeah.
Elliott.
And I watch all his stuff that he's still. Well, he was 1883. That was a new show, based off of Yellowstone.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And see, I understand you're no stranger to film either. You were in a movie.
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it.
Yes.
Oh lordy. Kenny was like, "We put that in the book." I was like, "Oh God, sure."
But that's fun though. That's part of the excitement of being where
Yeah.
you were, is to be able to experiment with things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it made it to DVD, so that's cool.
Right?
I mean, it
And there
was
was
fun. It was, like Kurt Angle was in it, but it wasn't. We weren't there at the same time. My part only took like a day of filming. I was a gas station person, so it was fun. And then the promoter took me out on his yacht, and it was pretty cool.
it was fun. I still remember watching that movie because I used to do a podcast with Sid,
Hmm.
and we were going to do an episode talking about it. So I'm watching it and I didn't read anything about it. So Kurt comes on. It's like, oh, that's cool. Right. Then I saw you. It's like, wait a minute. And then I guess Kevin Nash is one of the big baddies in there with Sid.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yep.
it's
Yeah.
like, dang, they
It's
just,
I actually never even watched the movie. I should.
it's not horrible. Okay. I
Okay.
have seen bad horror movies. It's not horrible.
I love good
But
horror movies or bad horror movies too.
that's the kind that I like it in. And that's what I like in this one too. I've watched it 3 times since then. So
Oh wow.
yeah. I still can't find it on DVD, but I have watched it,
No,
so I'm
I
good.
think I have it. Shit, I guess I got to get a DVD player.
That's step 2. Yep, you've got the DVD.
Uh,
So you're not a big DVD person, like are you streaming?
not, no, not anymore. I used to, like when I had my Airstream trailer when I was traveling the country. I had like a mini TV, and then with like a portable DVD, and I'd watch like old school 90210. That was my go-to. I had every DVD of 90210. 10
Oh,
seasons.
oh, nice. Were you even into the new ones, like the?
I couldn't get into them. Nope.
It's hard when you're used to that group to try
Yeah.
and adjust.
Like you can't sometimes you just don't remake stuff. Just let it
Yep.
be.
It's called bottled lightning for a reason. It only happens once in a million years.
Yeah,
You
10
know?
seasons, you're good. You're good. You did good.
So again, this book, it is out now. Do you know where people can find it?
Yes, go to my website, odbsmeetandgreet.com. Go right there. You can follow me on Instagram at the ODB BAM. I post every day on my Facebook, and just look up ODB's Meet and Greet, and you'll find me everywhere.
Meet and greet, like is A-N-D spelled out?
So MEAT and then N.
Ah,
Yeah, greet.com.
I am making up a little banner that we can throw up right there.
Perfect. Yep. odbsmeetandgreet.com.
Perfect. Yeah, they got to get this book because, like I said, just the little I've been reading, I'm dying to get this book.
Oh, sweet. And I want more girls too in pro wrestling, though, because I was the first knockout to write a book.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I would love for more, especially my era, to write books. I think everyone has a good story. So yeah, it's probably not as good as mine, but
well,
they can try. But some girls though, and I know a couple of my friends, like some are afraid to talk, or I don't bury anyone. Well, I tell one person to go F themselves in my book 3 times, but I don't care. Like it's my story. I can, but I don't.
ODB.
Yeah, exactly. One dirty bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I do call out a few people in my book, but I don't bury anyone. And I know the one person I told to F themselves, I'll never work with again because by choice, So it's tell your story, guys. Like I want more women to do that.
Excellent. So remember, odbsmeetandgreet.com.
Yeah.
This book, because it is out now and it is going to be great. I know I'm going to read it. So
there's good pictures in there too.
All right. Well, we got one more here. Andrew Clisset. He's from England. It's a buddy of mine. Do you prefer wrestling males or females?
The females. But I did. The good thing though about my character, I did get to wrestle with the guys, but it was a good storyline. I don't like it when the women think they're all tough and I can beat up men. Really, you can't. And a man shouldn't really, slap around a woman.
You need the right storyline. You're 100% right. And I got to be honest, I enjoyed your matches like that. I think the only other female I found that where you could put them in a ring and it was believable was China. Other than that, You're right. You've got these towering people against small people, and it's like,
and they're doing pile drivers with each other. I'm like, really? First of all, I will never get pile drived in my career.
Yeah, that's
no way in hell. I look at some of this stuff. I'm like, yeah, you're not doing that to me.
You can have all the trust in the world. People can still do.
How about a good old body slam?
Yep. Power bomb, even. That's
Yeah, and I'm done with power bombs.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. It was a good interview. Thank you.
It's been a blast chatting with you. odbsmeetandgreet.com. Go out, get the book, and there'll be a test later. So make sure you read it all.
True and false.
Right. We'll see everybody later.
Bam, bitches.